A Duty for Family by R.C. Salazar. The land had never seen a winter as unforgiving as this one. Snow covered every inch of the forest in thick, layered blankets. The poor crops had never stood a chance, leaving the residents of a lone cabin hidden among the dying trees with little to survive on. Jeb, the patriarch of his family, trudged through the knee-high snow. Frozen tears welled in his eyes, but he did not care. His mind was focused on finding a certain tree. Though he was surrounded by trees of every size, the one he sought was special to his kin. Family was carved into the bark of this tree, the place where generations of Jeb's lineage had been buried. Tonight he would add another member to that site by digging a grave for his youngest son Edwin, who was clothed in burlap rags. The blizzard raged, hiding each tree behind a wall of fluttering white flakes. Jeb searched the woods, forced to feel each trunk for the carving. If one did not have what he sought, he moved on to the next, battling the storm of icy white. He refused to give up, knowing this was a duty that must be fulfilled no matter the cost. When a member of the family died, they were buried the same day. No frozen hellscape would end this ritual. At the final tree, his bluing hand felt the frozen bark. Etched into it was the word he had been desperately searching for: family. A sudden wave of relief pulled a small smile from him, but the emotion faded quickly. It was replaced by the compulsion to begin digging at the base of the tree. One arm cradled his unmoving Edwin while the other dug, first through the icy snow, then into the hardened ground. The determined father continued, piling the dirt into a small mound. His son was no taller than a grown man's hips, but Jeb needed the grave to be deep beneath the tree's roots. Every clump of frozen soil cut and bruised his hand, yet he felt no pain. The feeling had vanished after the first scoop of snow. After placing Edwin safely in his final resting place, Jeb covered the hole with a mixture of dirt and snow. With one final farewell and thank you to his youngest, the father waded back through the snow toward the cabin where his remaining children waited. Jeb entered his home, dimly lit by 3 candles on the dinner table. His eyes moved across the plates, each one left with food uneaten and untouched. He looked up to find his children huddled in a darkened corner of the room. They cowered at the sight of him, flinching at every movement he made. Stone-faced, the patriarch said nothing to ease their fear. He allowed them to remain frightened, for now. It weighed heavily on his heart to see terror in the faces of his own children, but it could not be helped. For the rest to survive, a choice had been necessary. The winter had been unforgiving to his land, and he had to be the same. Jeb walked to the spot where Edwin had sat that evening. Carefully, he divided the cold food among the other plates. When he finished, he took his seat at the head of the table. At last, Jeb spoke. He commanded his children to sit and eat. Without hesitation, they rushed to their seats and obeyed their father, just as they always had.